Important new developments tonight about your access to public records. After a huge public outcry, Governor Inslee vetoed a controversial bill that would have exempted state lawmakers from the Public Records Act. The veto came just hours before the bill would have become law. Governor Inslee said at the request of a number of lawmakers, "I am vetoing engrossed Senate Bill 6617 in its entirety so that the legislature can engage with the public and stakeholders in a transparent process to discuss and consider legislative public records." He goes on to say, "I applaud Washingtonians for making their voices heard as well as legislators' thoughtful reconsideration." Our Hawk Hammer working for you tonight with a closer look at what happened in our state's capital.
And this bill was put forward shortly after a Superior Court judge says the Public Records Act applies to state legislature. For years, as a whole, the branch had argued it doesn't. If you ask legislatures, the bill was aimed at making clear what the public has the right to know, but if you ask opponents of it, it was about limiting government transparency. 13,400. That's the number of emails Governor Inslee received over Bill 6617, the Legislative Public Records Act. 6,700. The number of calls he received. An unprecedented response. The largest reaction any bill has received in his time as governor. Public engagement at its best, and it made all the difference. Hours before this bill, that passed with overwhelming support from both sides of the aisle, became law, Inslee vetoed it. A big move, because the passage was supposedly veto-proof. It had passed with a more than two-thirds vote. But in addition to concerns over what the bill would do, constituents across the state had issues with how it was passed. Supported by Democrats and Republicans, it was introduced and voted on in both the state Senate and House in 48 hours. Rushed, with supposedly no time for a public hearing. But you said that wasn't okay. As constituents, we deserve to be heard.
We all have been hearing from our constituents that this process was not adequate and that the outcome was not protective enough of the public's right to know.
Your outpouring prompted other legislators, like Spokane's Representative Marcus Riccelli, to change their tune and promise not to override the veto. Riccelli wrote to his constituents, "I was wrong. I posted initially the process was imperfect, but it's clear to me now the process was more than imperfect. I'm sorry." Spokane State Senator Andy Billig said he too will not support Bill 6617 if it comes to an override. However, he joins other lawmakers in saying it's back to the drawing board, and whatever is proposed next, it'll have ample time for public comment. And as they work on their next attempt, they will have the help of a special task force made up of journalists, open government advocates, and the Attorney General. As for the litigation that says legislatures are accountable to the Public Records Act, that will move forward as it was appealed. Reporting live, I'm Hawk Hammer at KXLY 4 News.
Hawk, thank you.